Right, hello once again YouTube. Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Now, we have on this these current last missions been launching the parts for a dual grand tour, and it is time to launch the launch. Yes, it is time to launch. That's not even. I don't even know if that's half an accent or even a word. No, it's time to launch the last stage of the grand tour craft, the engine module. It is quite literally a pulsed fission engine. Sounds a bit weird again. A single pulsed fission engine, which is this huge thing here. Extremely efficient fusion engine. A whole bunch of fission pellets and a ton of radiators to shed all the heat away. It also has a little AI control box, so we can launch this thing automatically. That's the little box here with the horns. And some solar panels. So, we need, basically, to build this thing a maybe 5k Delta V launcher, just to get this thing up into space, and I did not mean to take that off. Let's put that back on. To get this thing up into space and get it docked with the rest of the craft. And then, hopefully in this episode as well, we'll be able to set sail for Jewel. We'll also need to reinforce some sections of the craft with struts, but we have specifically packed struts for exactly that purpose. Okay, we're going to want a large 5-meter round shell. Can I actually do that? I think I need to do a smaller, slightly smaller decoupler because it needs to be able to go around it. I should also add that I think I've decided what the next game we'll be playing on the channel is. I've been thinking about doing Stormworks. But actually, since everyone seemed to really like it when I did it before, I actually figured I might do From the Depths. Might have a real crack at the campaign, because I mentioned I'd sort of tried in the past but never got super far, but I've gotten further on this Kerbal campaign than I ever have before, so maybe trying to do it for YouTube has helped. So we'll probably do From the Depths as the next playthrough. We'll try and have a crack at the campaign. So that'll be the next big thing to look out for on the channel, but obviously first we have to finish up what we're doing here. So it's too big. That's also too big. Are they all? Oh yeah, they're all tut big. I forgot. Yeah, we need to start doing we're at the point where we need multi-adapters because we've got too many too much weight. We've got some very large parts at this point. And I believe we've been using 6 Deinonychuses, I think, for the previous stages, which are liquid methane engines. CH4 Ox, LCH4 Ox. Yes, now, of course, the slight problem we're getting to now is that the rockets are getting very heavy. At least for this particular stage, it's big. It's also, wow, I hadn't even looked at that. It is also extremely expensive. This will be by far the most expensive part of the rocket. Now, in theory, as long as this Grand Tour mission comes off okay, we will make profit on this. Literally, with the budget we had, there was no way we could actually fly this mission and still make a profit. If we couldn't fly the mission at all, we wouldn't make money, but we're going to need quite a few solid rockets, I think, for this, because it's going to be heavy. Yeah, 1 point. It is about 4k, actually. If we launched and we made the rendezvous first time, this will be enough. It is a little tight, though, is my only thought here. Normally those Deinonychus are in absolutely plenty for our what we need them for, but in this case we're actually getting to the point where they're starting to be not quite enough. Sort of 6 mount. I don't know if there are any even bigger rockets at this point, or if we're actually maxed out for our tech tree, which we might well be. They should be on that stage, and these should be here. Also have to hope that these are the only problem here is... Oh, mind you, it's our first stage. We might be okay. Those there. Okay. We shall try this. I'm a little uncertain about this. The good news is, so long as this thing gets to orbit, we can make our test run on the fusion engine, and that has, as you can see, without the extra 215 tons of ship, we have 75,000 Delta V. So we have absolutely no issue in terms of spare fuel. What I don't know is how good our thruster weight is, because if our thruster weight's very low, we're probably going to overshoot. But anyway. So, we'll just, yeah, just went on a loaded screen. Vessel mass 1,000. Really? Mind you, we've gotten pretty big, yeah. So this is a almost 1,500 ton rocket. This is beefy at this point. Christ, no wonder this thing's heavy. Right. GT core. That's orbiting at 100, right? Yeah, basically 100. Launch the warp. Launch the rendezvous. Engage autopilot. Here we go. I have realised at the last second we are, as usual, missing something. And this is not even the first time I've forgotten this part. In fact, it's not even like the... Probably not even like the 10th time or probably not even be the 10th time I've forgotten this. We need an external antenna, because of course our internal ones can't function until the phone is deployed. Communitron 16. Yep. We shall put one on this rocket, because until we can deploy the main antenna, we can't necessarily talk to this thing. We'll put it there. But we'll put two on. Why not? It does actually blend very well with the craft. It actually sort of clips inside the structure frame a little bit. But yeah, so our plan for launch is launch this, dock it to the main craft, send out an engineer and have them strut the launchers in place. We're going to maybe use all four. I packed plenty of struts at any rate. But he's going to bolt it in place, because I think if we don't, we're going to get a little bit of wobble. And then we'll detach the struts which are in the dual system. Oh, I've forgotten to strut the boosters as well. Because I just noticed them wobbling about. Oh my god. Doug, you're making all the mistakes today. It's probably because I haven't played for a little bit. Right. Like I say, I sort of I record these episodes in sort of clusters. So I'll do like sort of 5 or 6 in one day, and then won't do any for a little bit. Right. Our usual tri-point mount seems to have worked very well so far. 3 at the bottom, 1 on either side, and 1 at the top, bracing upwards. Stops the booster from wobbling sideways, and it stops it from wobbling upwards. Auto strut's been good. It's been another thing I've not really used before, but that actually does seem to have worked rather well. In terms of rigidifying our rockets. In fact, I probably should have just put it on for those boosters, and it would just do it for me, but... Ooh, oh well. Okay, here we go again. You'd think I wouldn't make some of those mistakes of how many times we've done them, even just in this, like, playthrough, but apparently it does still happen. Right. Tank cooling on. Make sure that's on. Enable cooling. If we don't enable that, we're going to lose some before we even launch. We have plenty of power. At least I thought we would, because we're on the launch pad. Are we seriously losing power? Are we going to be able to launch? I thought you got recharged automatically from the launch things. Let's see what it does. No, it's still launched fine. Okay. As long as it decouple, as long as it stages into the engines fine, then we should be okay with this. Otherwise, we're going to have to work something out. I've never seen it have that issue before where the batteries run out on the launch pad. I really did think it automatically refilled your Oh, there's some sway going on with the central unit there. That's not good. No connection yet. No, power's going to be a problem. We don't even have any RCGs, do we? If we do, I'll put some RCGs on here, but I don't even think we have any. Do we even have the little tiny one? No. No, we don't. We've got to add some more batteries just for launch. I think this might be the first time ever I've had to do that. If we don't, the cryo stage will boil off. We'll have no power left. Let's try that again. I really did think the launch clamps? The launch clamps automatically refill your batteries, but maybe they don't. Either way, the time I need to launch it's at night, so we're going to have to do the launch anyway. Keep me calling it the launch. Weird accent. It's coming from... Right, check the power again. 7,600. I don't know whether it's because the batteries are... It could be because the batteries are underneath the fairings. They can't be automatically recharged. How much fuel have we boiled off? None. Really? None? Oh, just because we're losing so little? Okay, wait, let's enable cooling. We should have enough power that we've got those panels out before we run out. Or at least got the main engines running and having their dynamos recharging. And then by the time they've boiled off, it doesn't matter because we don't need to cool the tanks anymore. Or boil off by the time they've run out. See how much weight we're losing, how quickly. So this is a 1,500 ton rocket and we're already down to barely over 1,000. So a lot of that weight is presumably just solid rocket fuel. We know the... Actually, do we know what the engine weighs? I didn't write down the weight of the engine. I think the weight of the engine is about 115 tons. It is actually very heavy. It is the heaviest part of this whole rocket. And I think it's mostly fuel, actually. Fuel and radiator. The engine, I don't believe, is super heavy. It's got some big capacitors, but... Yeah, we're nearly down to half our initial weight. It is mostly solid rocket fuel. Yes, the other thing I need to note is we're down to our last 400,000. We have used a lot of money with this launch. Not that we can't get a lot more quite easily. We can take tourist missions if we have to, but we're probably not going to be able to do any more major launches for the Grand Tour, and we're not really built to do that anyway. Yeah, I thought this might be a problem. We're overburning. Whoa! Oh no, that's not good. Disengage. Disengage autopilot. Right, we're going to have to manually correct this. What is our current apocalypse? 79, right. I think if we disengages is something's going to break. We can do, however, a little bit of a trick. Nope. Yeah, did you know time warping freezes your vessel's rotation? It's a little bit cheesy, but... Right. Leave a planet. Sectorize it. Next apocalypse, please. You may use some monopropellant because it is quite heavy. We'll have to be a little bit careful because we're going to need a fair bit to dock, and apparently it's quite heavy. Although I suppose that's because we have got the extra we've got the extra tank that won't be there when we're doing the actual docking maneuver. We've got all this, and that's heavy because that's a lot of engines and fuel. We also need to deploy solar panels. Not that I think we're getting any light at the moment, but we are going to need them. Probably will do by the time we get to our intended height for orbit. Or not so intended height for orbit, I suppose. But yes, we may end up having to... That's probably not helping. Gimbal way down, 10%. Yeah, 10. Yeah, just the wobble brought on by those engines can... You have to throw things off. Interesting noises it's making there. This is what we call a slightly janked launch. RCS off. Save the rest of that. We're going to dock. And to rendezvous for that matter. Yeah, so basically what's happened here is we've overshot it. Launch to rendezvous has been slightly wrong because indeed there was too much solid fuel. But that was the only way we could probably really launch it cost effectively. The other thing we need to do is activate the main antennas. I tell you, it does. I know it's not the main engine, but it does look quite impressive. Wow, we've actually got a thruster weight of half. That's really powerful for one of these engines, although I suppose it is designed to be having quite a lot of extra weight on top of it. It's also enable engine charging, so that we have a full charge and the engine's ready to ignite. While the dynamos are all still running and we can get more power, or alternators or whatever. Because we probably are going to need to at least run our main fusion engine a little bit to get rendezvous. I expect it might be doing the final manoeuvre. I don't think 3... Oh, mind you, we're already at a higher altitude. Might not need it, actually. But anyway, once we get close, we'll be ditching the main fuel tank at any rate. Right. We are in orbit. Not quite where we wanted to be in orbit, but we are in orbit. Next task. Apart from stabilizers. Radiators out. There are a lot of them. Like a lot. But we are going to need each and every one of them. Which is also why we bought some repair kits in at least one part of the craft. I can't remember which bit, but if any of them get broken, we'll be finding it. It might even be a mech div toggle to extend them all at once. They probably should have action grouped it, but I forgot. I think we can even maybe edit the action groups in flight, but I probably won't worry at this point. The only thing that we were originally planning to do was an aero brake at Joule, and I'm not sure because of some things I didn't quite think of that we're going to be able to do that anymore. So we may end up having to do a manual slowdown, but it might depend on how our fuel's looking. Because we've got a decent amount, but less than we thought we were going to have because we thought we were going to be able to refuel. I might even be tempted, depending on how things are looking, to ditch the first lander. To like go straight to Lathe and ditch one lander once the crew have come back, maybe? Not sure. We'll see anyway. Right. Don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. We are going to need the maneuver planner. Oh, I think that was what we had open. Actually, we do still need that. No, not the maneuver planner. We need the rendezvous autopilot. Matching planes. Is that plane off? Oh, it is a little bit. Oh, you know what that is? That's probably the wobble. We had that great big wobble at the end of the our orbital burn. It's probably thrown it off slightly. Electric charge is looking a little bit suspect, but I think we're going to be okay once we These are still glowing red. Is that heat from the boosters? I don't know what colour they are, but anyway, we'll regain power in a moment. We're clear of Kerbin. Looking very spooky today. Sort of big, I think we might be orbiting a black hole all of a sudden. It shouldn't be, but it sure looks like one. I was going to say, has anyone done a black hole for Kerbal? What am I saying? I know they have. Someone did the Interstellar. I think was it Gargantua? I think they did the black hole from the movie Interstellar, which for those of you who've not seen it is a sci-fi movie about space travel. It's pretty good, a little angsty at times, and very slow on a rewatch. It was like, oh my god! But if you like actual like rockets and things, it's pretty cool. And I love some of the designs they come up with. I like Tar's sort of big blocky robot. Imagine the 2001 monolith turned into a robot, and he stays a good guy the whole film. Doesn't betray them at any point. It's like, no, he's a cool dude. He's a robot. He's helping them. I like the Ranger, the sort of lander craft thing. There was some cool stuff in that. The Endurance is pretty cool. Their main ship. Why? No connection? Really? Oh my god. Oh, this is going to be a pain, isn't it? We have power, but not... Are we seriously using more power than we're... Oh, no. Okay, hang on. Oh, right, we don't have a connection. We're using too much power. Our signal's going to be really janky. We actually need to retract the radiators. They're using additional power. At least I believe they use extra power. Yeah, it's starting to go up again. I'm going to retract about half the radiators. That is a problem, because that means we don't have enough power on this craft alone, at least, to cool it constantly. That's not going to be too bad, because we're only going to be running the engine some of the time, but it does mean for this maneuver, we can't rely on the fusion engine being available to dock with. Or at least not for long periods of time. We can extend them all, dock, and then retract them, I suppose. Do we have a... We've got toggle solar panels, but not those. Yeah, I might auto... I might action group them. I believe you can do that. I don't know what thing is though. Action groups. There we go. So I believe we can go. Yes, toggle radiator. That's cool. Okay, so we can just do that in a single button press. Oh, except we're putting it in stage. It's not supposed to be in stage. Custom 1. Toggle radiator, toggle radiator. Oh. Toggle radiator, and toggle radiator. V plus. Okay. Save. Alright. Oh, it's going to be really slow down the turn again, isn't it? We are gaining power now. No, we're losing a little bit. It's taking a lot of... Okay, we needed more solar panels, basically, is what I'm learning here. I thought those two would be enough, and it would help if they were facing the sun a little bit better. I think we're only running 1 at the moment, actually. But this craft uses more power than I thought. Yeah, now we're turning, they're both facing the sun. Just got the extra antenna on way as well. We are gaining power, but yes, so... That is a slight problem with the transmit network in that, or the transmit network in that transmits 2 and 5, or they've all bunched up because their orbits were not quite identical. So over the sort of 40 years the campaign's actually been running for in terms of Kerbal time, they have drifted apart and our comms network has become non-functional. Basically, it's no longer covering the whole planet reliably like it used to. It's only covering about a third, a quarter, well, maybe a bit better than that, maybe half. But less than it should be. Certainly less than it should be, and that's a problem. Because we need to get this bit to work. So basically we're going to have to keep going around and hoping that we can do our rendezvous while we still have a signal. Because this bit is unmanned. Oh boy. This is probably a case of when I first created this save, I should have enabled extra ground stations. I think I didn't. That is an option you can do with ScanSat. There were multiple transmission points from Kerbal surface. And realistically, I probably should. There are at least 3 launch stations on the planet's surface. At the very least, we should be able to get a signal from each of them. I mean, that's Woomerang up there. Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's the Australia-ish one. The desert one, at least. Put away. Both panels facing the sun. This is taking longer than I thought. Apologies, YouTube, for this, but these are the sort of things that come up during missions. If I have to, I'll revert it to launch and we'll get it back up here again off screen, but I'm trying to make this work if I can. Actually, I thought connection didn't even matter once you had ScanSat. Once you had MechJeb. Yeah, either way, we've got connection this time. Okay. Planning. Aha, yes, it's going to go straight into the... it's already higher, so it's going to go straight into the dive. We are draining power quickly again. Yeah, I think it takes a lot of torque to move the craft because it's so heavy. Even though Mechdev tends to leave it midway to just drift, it still takes a lot of thing to spin it up to speed in the first place. Again, we know we now know that the radiator is power hungry. We are going to need all the solar panels we have, which is why again we can't really auto brake at Joule apparently because we can't or aero brake in theory because all our solar panels will break. We do have repair kits. I don't know if they work on the huge panels. I assume they would, but yeah. So because we could potentially sacrifice them. But I think we need them all. I think we need both. I was thinking about ditching the landers, but I think we're going to have to do that only on the return trip. But we will do that. We will ditch both the landers on the return trip. They're not going to be needed. We'll have the science transfer over to the main craft. And just transfer a lot less weight in general. If the docking ports were the same size, we could even potentially sacrifice the living module, but I don't believe they are. I believe the top of the living module is a 2 meter. It might still be able to dock with this. There has been some weirdness with that in the past before, but we're not going to rely on that. What the heck was that? That was not right. Yeah. Screwed it up. We are still controlling from here, right? We're still controlling the right way up. Yes. What happened there? It just burned the wrong way. Just like outright the wrong way. Like. Save. It's being weird again. It does this occasionally and it's very annoying. Don't know why it changed so quickly. If it's going to be weird about it, I might even have it give me the maneuver and then execute it myself. But realistically, we need the docking autopilot working properly because I'm not good at manual intercepts. Was it because it activated too far off? We do get rid of that maneuver and then do a new one. Oh, okay, it's actually going to wait. Do the orbits and then do it. Okay. Okay, that one worked. Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to do. I don't know why it span off crazily like that before. I had to match velocities. Okay, that's fine. Once we're at that point, the RCS thrusters will be plenty as long as we're in the right area of space near it. They probably won't be enough to do the maneuver on their own. We can't use the RCS to do the last little maneuver like we have, or did partly at least on one of the parts, I think. Because this I believe, again, I think I said this earlier, but I believe this part of the vessel weighs over 100 tons, so it's not light. Yeah, 150, 160, and I think the engine part itself is 110. I'll leave that up. We could find out in a minute. So we're going to want the docking autopilot or later as well. We'll put that up there. Lots of menus. Give it a quick save because we're actually on the right course. We're nearly at the end of the episode, but I'm not going to end it without at least getting this thing docked. In fact, that probably will be where we ended it. I was planning to try and set off in the same one, but as you've seen, even supposedly routine easy missions can prove to be a right pain. But we were launching a tremendously oversized load with a slightly odd launcher, so I'm not surprised that things have gone a little wrong in some ways. I'm just surprised that we've had so many of the little niggles. Like, oh, we've got no signal. Or, oh, the booster has randomly decided to kick sideways for some reason and whatnot. We'll have that on before we dock as well. Do you want to be at 0? Want to be nice and neatly lined up with everything? Be nice to see the whole craft in one piece as well. Yeah, did it again! Why are you... Oh, it actually knocked us out of orbit. Actually knocked us into the wrong orbit as well. I might even do the, I might even do that last bit manually. Considering it is, again, being weird. Right. of that. Right. I think we're on course to meet with it. Why don't engage orbit? Alright, let's try that again. Sorry about how long this is taking. I really did not plan for this, but again, it's being weird. Yeah, it decided to just kick in immediately, which it shouldn't have done. It was nowhere near the point where it's actually ready to go for that maneuver. Let's hope that whatever weird curse this is Mekjev's suffering from, it doesn't stick around when we actually get it fully docked up and ready to go. We'll probably run the maneuver to burn us out to duel manually, because we're on the weird engine. We had to do that before with the other engine. I think this is the same. This kind of has the same problems in that it has to be activated each time. So it kind of effectively works in the same way. It's just more efficient and uses a different, heavier fuel. I wonder if we could have done stage tanks. I suppose it would have been a bit more awkward, but we could potentially use effectively drop tanks, because these tanks are quite large and heavy. We could potentially have it so they drop off as they're used. I suppose the only problem with that would be the profile for the sake of the radiators. Oh, you better not crash us, Mekjev. Oh, of course, and you guys haven't seen the you guys haven't seen it almost completed yet, have you? The ship is nearly complete, and it has the second lander docked to it, which you guys haven't seen. Control from here. Right, that should float away from the ship, hopefully. I'm a little worried about that now, actually, but hopefully that's enough for kick to float it away. Right. We have a collision. I'm going to have to quick load again. I really don't want to be doing. The other thing is trying to get a view on the docking port so I can... There it is. Set as target. We still have control, so we should be good. Yeah, plenty of minor propellant, even for a heavy ship, as long as it doesn't screw anything up. So it's using quite a lot. Okay, I think we're going to be okay with that booster floating past the main ship. I am definitely making a mental note for the colony ship, which might be even bigger. I don't know quite how big it'll be, but I want to make it an impressive ship at any rate. Or at least launch a few base modules in one go anyway. I will make a mental note to have Separatrons kicking away all the rocket boosters, so orbital assembly is on a bit of a minefield. Right. It's docking now. 30 meters off axis, but that's fine. I believe the other part is just set to hold rotation. But yeah, there it is with the two landers on it. So for those of you who didn't see assembly, this is our colony ship. We have the colony module, which is this sort of central spine with the rotating centrifuge. That's where the colonists will live on it, or the colonists, the crew and the tourists will live on their way out there. We have the return module, which is this heat shield, this capsule, which also has a heat shield on the front. We were planning to aerobake at dual until we discovered that we apparently can't retract these, which I thought we could, but apparently no, we can't. So we're probably not going to be able to do that. It might even be worth ditching the heat shield entirely, but because we don't know how fast we're going to be coming in at Kerbal, or Kerbin, I'm going to leave it on there in case we need a really big heat shield to slow us down. If we're coming fast, we might need that. We have two Lion-class landers that are rated for both atmospheric and non-atmospheric, and can mine their own fuel. Additionally, the main section has scanners for reading the resources on a planet, and then we have, of course, the engine module, which is this. It is a pulsed fusion engine, basically fusion explosions. It is extremely efficient. We should have about, I think it was something like 25k delta V with the whole ship docked together, but we could potentially try dropping parts as we go. I don't know how stable we'll be, but I am considering attempting a burn -1 lander. And if that works, that would, if it's like, because it's low power, it'll have torque to keep itself straight. If that works, we might do that, because it will be -80 tons. But it would also be nice to have both landers there in case something goes wrong, so we'll keep them for now. The landers should be more than capable of landing on Tylo, as long as they can refuel to come back up again. So we are going to have to make sure, at least for Tyler, that we scan for a site of ore. The other moons, the landers should in theory be capable of doing a round trip from all four of? No, from all three of, yeah. Because there's kind of 2 difficult moons and 3 easy ones. The difficult ones are Lathe and Tylo. Lathe not because it's particularly big, but because it's got an atmosphere, which we've had to account for. We've got parachutes and things. And Tylo because it is high gravity. And there is no atmosphere, so we have nothing to help us slow down with. So those are kind of the 2 we've kind of built the landers around, and then Bop, Val, and Pol are low gravity and quite small. Val's a little larger than the other 2, but neither of those should be difficult to land on. There is also something on Bop, I think it's Bop, it might be Pol, that I want to show you guys. So I might be looking up the coordinates for that and cheating a little bit to land it. Well, not cheating to land us, but cheating to look up where we have to land. Because again, there's something I think you guys might like to see. And I have visited it way back when on my old original channel. I think there might have been a video I built a... I don't know if did I put it up on YouTube? I tried to build a bit of a Yamato, Space Battleship Yamato, and hyper-edited out there. But I can't remember whether I actually uploaded that or how it actually went in the end. It's something I wanted to do, but again, I can't remember quite how well it went. I know I definitely did do it, but... oh, we're going to hit the antenna. Okay, I think we actually want to be at 90 degrees. I think we're going to be a little bit close to the... because the antenna sticks out a little bit. It'd be okay for the radiators, but... oh, actually... other way up, because the control block is on the bottom there. That's also sticking out a bit. We should have this low inset face facing upwards by the time... or facing downwards. Should allow our antenna to still function, all our parts to still function. But yes, what I'm thinking for bracing the landers is we'll put a strut from maybe here, or from the back of the thing there to the side of this, and on both sides, and then we'll also put one from this side up to there. And that should just brace them nice and firmly. And we'll probably use the thrusters to some degree to maneuver. We have to be a little bit careful to save some RCS for return docking, but actually we don't, because the launchers will be able to make their own. But it's probably not a bad idea at all to use some of the RCS up. Look at that. It's finally coming together. Turn the lights on as well once we get docked. Actually, I think we've already got lights in this section, so we'll do it now. Almost there. Ooh, it's exciting. I've never done a Grand Tour mission before. I've never really tried it properly with a proper craft, so this is going to be kind of exciting for me. It's going to be a first. It's already had some mistakes, but we can live with that. And there we go. She is completed. Let's also for full effect. There we go, with radiators out. This is the ship that shall bring us to Jewel. It's a beauty. I really like how this has turned out. Right. Sorry to do this, but I had planned to do that this episode, but it looks like we're not going to have time. So, next time, we shall be putting the final struts in place and setting sail for Jewel. See you guys all next time. Goodbye.